Hey gamers, it's Kwing here. Welcome to another Game Nights exclusive video review. A Boy and His Blob has returned after 20 years with a reimagining of the series, if you will. Sorry it took almost a month for us to get this up, but we wanted to look at everything this game had to offer. I'm very intrigued by this game to this day, and I will be doing a more in-depth video review with my wife down the road. The story for the game is as follows. The blob crash lands on the Earth. The little boy hears something and goes out to investigate the crash site, where he meets and is scared by the blob. After realizing that the blob isn't going to hurt him, he calls the blob to him and he befriends the blob.
Come on.
How sweet. A Boy and His Blob is a 2D side-scrolling action platforming puzzle game, where like the original NES game, if you get hit once, you're dead. In order for this not to happen, gamers need to have the blob protect the kid. You accomplish this by feeding the blob jelly beans. The blob can actually transform himself into one of 15 objects, like a ladder, hole, bouncy ball, racket, anvil, cannon, parachute, a body clone, and even a giant hamster ball, to name a few. Each power has its own practical use that will aid the player in solving many of the brain teasers and killing enemies too. This game is rather lengthy adventure spanning a total of 40 story levels, 40 hidden bonus stages, which is used to unlock hidden goodies. Each level consists of 10 stages, where afterwards players are taken to a building that acts as the hub connected to the world map, which is actually a poster hanging on the wall. Genius! Once you beat the 10th stage, each ending world has a boss fight that requires both sharp thinking and quick reflexes to beat them. A Boy and His Blob, for the most part, is a very simple and easy game. In fact, the developers have decided to decrease the difficulty for those of you who remember the NES game. I sure do. I smashed the controller through an old TV because of it. Anyway, as you progress through the game, you'll notice a bunch of hint signs. This tells the gamer what blob power you need to use in order to solve this puzzle. WayForward Technologies also wanted to focus on the friendship aspect of this game and unloaded too much heartwarming goodness for me to stomach. Still, the overall point of this game is to use the blob to save Earth and Blobonia and defeat the evil Emperor. The gameplay for this game is downright impressive most of the time, although this game doesn't have any motion controls, just like Demon Blade. Still, remember they're going for an old school vibe, so we'll let that slide under the rug for now. Players can use the Wiimote and Nunchuck, or the classic controller, which I did. After leaving the hub world, players are brought to the actual game, where you can use unlimited jelly beans to win the day. However, there's a small catch. Each stage has its own preset powers for the blob to use. Boo! You'll also notice treasure chests throughout each of the levels. Now these chests are needed to gain 100% completion of the game, and also unlock the challenge levels which I spoke of, which is how you gain access to the bonus materials like concept art, storyboards, and much more. While controlling the protagonist, it's pretty basic. You move around with the joystick, jump with the B button, cycle through your jelly beans menu by pressing the L button, throw the beans with the A button, and lastly call the blob to your side with the X button. The game also allows you to tell the blob to stay put or hug him with the gamepad, although as to what purpose this holds is beyond me, other than of course the cuteness factor for this game. So, you're probably thinking, what in the world could I have wrong with this game? Well, a few things, actually. Let's first start with the loading times. Each level has them, even going into doors, warping back to the house hub, yada yada yada. So yeah, that got on my nerves quite a bit. Much like Demon Blade, both the levels and music seem to repeat. Since there are only 4 world maps in this game, each of the 10 levels tends to repeat every 3rd stage, and yes, this can become a major annoyance. Now, this isn't a big problem since they do change the layout of the levels, even so I noticed them trying to cover this up. Next, Blob's command seems simple enough, but there are times when I've told the Blob to do something and have to wait for him to react. Now, you can speed up things by calling him 3 times, and I've bared witness to a few glitches in this game later on in the game too, where the boy will float through objects, or the Blob will just suddenly disappear and you can't call him back. Out of all the powers the Blob has that are awesome, the one that I hate the most is the cannon, especially for solving puzzles. Now, the third boss battle people say is the easiest in the game. They are lying through their teeth. Now, the fight isn't hard, but getting the blasted Blob to do what you told him, or face the cannon in the right direction is! You will die numerous times, not by the fault of the bird creature, oh no, but because of the idiot Blob facing the wrong way. I mean, what is up with this? This would have been a great time to introduce a way to actually control which direction the Blob looks. I feel better. So as you can gather, I was pretty angry. Actually, I was hopping mad because this level shouldn't have been that hard because the bird creature is actually very easy to beat. However, getting the stupid Blob to do what you tell him to is another story. My last complaint has to do with the preset powers. Personally, I was hoping that players could use different powers after collecting numerous jelly beans. I was nearly broken-hearted when I discovered that it was all random and everything was preset. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, this game is kind of like a Sour Patch candy. First it's sour, and then it's sweet! Part of the reason is because of all the constant checkpoints, taking the edge off what would be a very aggravating experience. Personally, I didn't die a lot until the 7th world in Blobonia, and if it wasn't for the checkpoints, I would have pushed my couch out the window. I'm deadly serious. But because of the checkpoints, I kept playing till I beat the game 4 times! Yeah! Pwned! This game is becoming my new gaming addiction. I loved almost every aspect of this game and had so many wow moments throughout the game. The puzzles in this game change it up every level or so, keeping the gamer on their toes throughout the adventure, and at the same time, making one really strain your brain. Another huge plus going for this game is the hand-drawn graphics. 2009 must be the year of awesome hand-drawn Wii games. But don't let the game's 2D appearance fool you, folks. It has all the wrappings of next-gen graphics. Particle effects, lighting, refractions, blah 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 blah. To sum up, the visuals are just beautiful and run at 30 frames a second. The soundtrack was also a delight to my ears and captured the emotion of the levels and even the cutesy friendship of the 2 main characters. Out of all the Blob's awesome powers, I do have a few favorites. One of the most useful abilities in this game is using Blob as a ball of death. This power is the best way I've found to kill groups of enemies and has one of the most painful ways to die in video games ever. Yeah, that. Man, that would really hurt. The hamster ball power gives you a new cool meaning to a boy in a bubble. This power not only kills enemies, but is handy for speedrunning through certain levels too, and it's just fun. The rocket adds a whole new dimension to the gameplay, and I love flying around levels and finding chests I missed the first time through. The last power is certainly what I believe is the best. Transforming the Blob into a shield. Talk about sick! While this is a very rare power, it is easily one of the best, and my only regret is you couldn't use this power more throughout the adventure because it defends the boy from just about anything. As you can see, A Boy and His Blob is just a stellar game, and part of the charm for this game is the fact that it will appeal to both fans of the original and new players alike. That's the mindset WayForward had at the get-go, and this game truly does have something for everybody. The game has a heartwarming friendship between a human and an alien, a total of 80 levels, wow! A football field of extras giving more than enough reason for the gamer to replay this game again and again. This game has out-of-this-world gameplay too, amazing music and sound, beautiful visuals, challenging and fun levels. So, Game Night's Entertainment gives A Boy and His Blob for the Nintendo Wii an 8.7 out of 10, and a Game Night's recommendation to get this game. Thanks so much for watching another of our video reviews. Keep it locked here for more of our trailers, gameplay vids, developer interviews, and so much more. Also, don't forget to tune in to the Game Nights radio show every week. This is Kwing as always saying God bless and happy gaming. Until we meet again, gamers. See ya.